When you think of vines in the Bible, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture lush vineyards heavy with grapes, or perhaps you remember Jesus calling himself the true vine. But there's something most people don't realize about these vines, especially the ones mentioned in the Old Testament. They weren't just symbols of abundance or beauty. They carried a much deeper meaning, especially in the book of Ezekiel. If you've ever wondered why Ezekiel's messages sound so intense, or why he uses such vivid metaphors, you're not alone. His words were meant to shake people awake, to make them see the truth about their lives and their relationship with God. This chapter, Ezekiel 15, is one of those moments where a simple image, a vine, becomes a powerful lesson. Let's take a closer look at this ancient metaphor together and see what it meant for the people of Jerusalem and what it might mean for us today. In Ezekiel 15, God asks a striking question. How is the wood of a vine different from the wood of a tree in the forest? At first, it might seem like a simple comparison, but there's a world of meaning behind it. Trees like oaks or cedars are strong. They're wood used for building homes, crafting tools, and making furniture. They stand tall and sturdy, providing shelter and support. But vines? Their wood is thin, flexible, and weak. It's not the kind of material you'd use to build anything important. In fact, if you tried to make a chair or even a simple peg from vine wood, it would snap or bend under the slightest pressure. The vine's value isn't in its wood at all, it's in the fruit it produces. Imagine a carpenter searching for the right piece of wood to finish a project. He sorts through sturdy planks and beams, but when he comes across a piece of vine, he sets it aside. It's simply not useful for building. Even the most basic tasks, like making a hook or a peg, are impossible with vine wood. It's just too fragile. And if that vine wood is burned, it becomes even more useless. It turns to ash and crumbles at the slightest touch. There's nothing left to salvage, nothing to redeem. It's a stark image, and that's exactly why God uses it to describe Jerusalem at this moment in history. So why does God choose this comparison for Jerusalem? The city was meant to be special, set apart as God's own people, just like a vine carefully planted in a vineyard. They were chosen for a purpose, to bear fruit, to show the world what it meant to live in relationship with God. Think of a gardener who lovingly plants a vine, waters it, and tends to it day after day. That's how God saw his people, full of potential, meant to flourish and produce something beautiful. The vine's whole reason for existing is to bear fruit, not to be used as wood. But what happens when the vine stops producing fruit? What if it turns away from the gardener, growing wild and untended? That's what happened to Jerusalem. The people turned away from God, ignoring his guidance and forgetting their calling. In God's words, they became useless, not because they had no value, but because they weren't living out their purpose. Just like